And Q's talking about his feelings for Janelle. But my question now is, because now he's having that second mind when he's talking about Lee, like, is his dedication fading because there's no longer any competition? Herbert gone. Dedication fading because all of a sudden now he see Lee shining, and now Chris is now interested in Lee. These are questions that people would like to get answers to, because maybe Quentin is in it for the chase. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's LolaAjisafe here. We are reviewing Ready to Love, episode 9. What's it called again? Blink if you need help. So we're continuing from last week when we knew they were going to go away. But before we start, first thing first, housekeeping rules. Please don't forget to like the video. You come in, you see I'm coming like this, thumbs up, hit the like button. Second of all, let me know what you think. We're getting towards the end of the season. I love those of you who are saying some things, but I'd love to hear more. Let me know what you think. What about what I said, about what's going on, whatever the case may be. Last of all, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit subscribe right below right now. All right, so what are we doing? So now we've got this, and this happens every season. We know what this is. They go away for a day or two, and usually stuff tends to like happen. So what's gonna happen? So they're all gonna be in a house, a getaway. They call it the getaway. They get some kind of Airbnb and put them in. So you know, they're showing them all driving to the location. The girls, I'm not even going to pretend to remember all the girls that were in one car, but I know Katerina, and I want to say Lee, maybe Aries in one car. Katerina's like, yo, I need to start again. All my prospects are gone. Who are Katerina's prospects? Let us think. I want to say maybe she was on Phil's leaderboard. I don't know who else, but long and short, like, we're at episode 9 and Katerina don't have anyone. This is technically season 9, but I'm not even going to repeat myself, but at this point, this is literally unheard of at this point, where she don't really have anybody that wants to holler at her or anybody she wants to holler at. So now she says she have her eye on, I think she said Chris or someone, maybe. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, Sierra goes on to discuss. So Sierra's in that. Sierra's in what car? I don't remember what car Sierra is in. Sierra's on her way there talking as well, and has one connection with Maria, and she says she don't know about it. Sis, you know that you don't know. Sis, it's not that you don't know. It's that you know there's nothing there, and that's how it be sometimes. Like, I understand the premise of the show. She has to have a date to stay on the show, but in real life, sometimes we'll be dealing with scraps, and we know we don't even want. We know we're not even hungry. We know we don't have an appetite. We know we're even full. We know that's not even kind of food we want to eat. That we want real food. We don't want processed food, but we'll still be playing with processed food in front of us. You know this, and and on top of that, on top of playing with that processed food, right? We know we don't want it. It's in front of us. We know it's not good for us. We don't even want it, but we still going to manage it. And on top of that, we'll now make a mistake and chew on our processed food, and then you start developing, like, you know, GERD, reflux, putting on weight, start having, like, you know, gastritis, all these kind of symptoms, all the things that you don't want happening to something you don't even want to begin with. That's my analogy for this. Like, Sierra knows she don't want Maurier. I don't know if she knows if Maurier don't want her. I don't know if that's the case, but she knows she don't want him. But she on the show, but she gonna make do. So the guys get to the house. I thought what was kind of cute, when Chris Niger, the developer, was like, you know what, let's not pick rooms, let's wait for the ladies. That was quite, you know, gallant and, you know, chivalrous. I was impressed. Y'all be trying to give him a bad rep, but we're still watching, we're still waiting. I think at this point in time, as we're in 2023, people are dating later and later. It's no longer, oh, we date in our early 20s and we're married and, you know, have grandkids in our 40s. No, it's different. People are dating in their 40s without any kids. So yeah, you can't judge more so than ever. You can't judge a book by its cover, because you're meeting whole people, people grown, big ages. They're not one-dimensional, they're three-dimensional. So you really have to peel back layers and figure out, what can I live with and what can't I live with. I'm saying this to say that a lot of the time I see online now where it's, you know, men versus women in a lot of conversations. Anytime somebody feels triggered or hit, instead of taking a second back and like, there's the immediate need to punch forward and attack. And so with just all these conversations, it's men versus women. Like, yo, people sometimes will drop in the comments of women, or let me just speak for myself. People sometimes will drop in my reels sometimes if they feel triggered to say something really dumb. And the truth is, the very thing I'm talking about, they are telling me by their actions that they're that. Because I don't think that any serious person who is about their beings is going to be in somebody's comments wanting to go back and forth with you. You got that kind of time? Is that what you're telling me? I'm just trying to be more open with the players I'm seeing now, because in real life, I don't think any of us have ever had to experience this, and it's different and it's new and we're trying to figure it out. But what I don't like is, you know, when we're just kind of going against each other, when we could just hold off for a second and listen. It was one other comment. One of my sisters was talking about something, what she wants, what she desires, and some guy immediately felt, you know, in his right to talk about, yeah, look at you, you're almost this, talking about her age, you look, I'm like, I don't know how it went from this is what I want in a man to you attacking her appearance. That's low-hanging fruit. Like, he couldn't think about anything else about her but to pick on her appearance, that she looked old, she looked this. I'm just like, that tells me the quality of person you are. If the only thing you can do as a man, that's too catty for a woman, talk less of a man. What kind of man are you to attack a woman's appearance? She didn't holler at you, she didn't ask you for money, she didn't even ask you for your opinion. She was broadcasting a clip of what she felt, and you jump in the comments to an attempt to degrade her. I mean, you don't care much for yourself. Like, I can't respect that. So Uncle Nephew Tommy arrives into the house and he's talking about, yeah, what he's always giving like little one-liners. So now he's like, we're in the house, you know, y'all can you see who's going to bed with each other, blah 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 blah. I'm trying to be funny, I'm trying to be cute. Okay, fine. I don't think anybody should be hitting 9 because y'all don't know each other. You're not really here for this reason, so y'all don't need to be hitting nothing. There needs to be no So, but it does say something that it's time for deeper conversations. Facts. Like just what we just talked about. The arena of dating today is so different than it's ever been in the history of the world. You really want to spend more time getting to know someone, because since you're meeting people at big ages now, they're coming to you with more trauma. So the trauma they've gone through, everybody has trauma. Your question now is, have they dealt with it? How do they deal with it? How do they say woman? How does a woman say a man? Because true to human nature, we are going to project, period. You're always going to put yourself in a situation and see it from your eyes. It's impossible not to. So if that person already has some issues with the opposite sex, like deep-seated issues, those issues are going to reflect on you. How are you going to handle it? What kind of conversations are you going to have? How are you going to communicate? Are you approaching them with a clear, objective mind? And do you have 1 or 2 people as accountability partners that can hold you accountable if you're accepting what you ordinarily have said that you don't want to accept, because they have your interests at heart and don't want to see you further down the line regretting or saying that you didn't follow true to who you are and what you believe. Next, Uncle Nephew Tommy says that, yo, you know, he's got there's 6 women and 4 men. I don't like this dynamic. These people are playing. So 6 women and 4 men. Like, what is that going to achieve? What is that going to attain? Because I just don't think it's natural for a woman to pursue a man. So I think 6 women are going to be like around 4 men. And herein lies, we'll see what the issue is now. So he tells him that, oh yeah, next day we're going to eliminate a woman. Something Jessica says at this point. Yeah, Jessica said that she and Maury have had conversations and they've been talking. But she says she's not confident about her connection with Maury. Talks about the issue that she's not very good at PDA. I'm just saying, you don't require a visa, a passport, a certification, a degree, a master's, a doctorate for PDA. You feel it, you do it. But I'd like to say that if you're not feeling it, then it's going to be more of a conversation. If you're feeling it, it'd be more instinctual. She's not feeling Maria. I'm just saying. Like, she threw off, she was feeling, who was she feeling before? She was feeling Chris a little bit, but for reasons best known to her, about the man-woman conversation, gender roles, Chris is not on her leaderboard, and now she's left with Maria. Maria was just meant to be a safe. She knows she don't want Maria. Did I say Maria? No, she don't want him either. I think they both know that. I feel like Maury is caught in a situation with women that he otherwise would not have access to outside of the show. I feel he's caught in a situation where he's talking to women he otherwise wouldn't talk to outside of the show. And this is not to be mean or but just to be factual. Seems like a nice gentleman, but on the outside, because you know RTL is a manufactured, created reality. On the outside, he wouldn't be involved in this dynamic. Although on the outside, there are situations where, because of this fear mongering, some women are dealing with individuals, not necessarily on appearance, but an attitude that they otherwise wouldn't deal with if they're not in tune with who they are and they're listening to all the fear mongering or all the stuff that's been spewed at women. Or if you're this age, your Moscow item or your sell by date has gone. So with the fear mongering, you do have, and even though they if they do fall victim to the fear mongering, it still doesn't pan out, because what's not there is not there. What's not is not. You can't create new things. You can't create matter. Matter is neither created nor destroyed. If it's not there, it's not there. You can pretend for only so long. Something's gonna go wrong and you're gonna be like, yo, I can't do this. What's real is real. All you find out is that you lost time and effort. So it behooves all of us, both sexes, to be straight up front from the beginning in order not to waste anyone's time and resources. So there's a scene where, you know, Quentin's in his little shorts, like he trying to do thirst trap, wearing an apron with no shirt on, and you know, Katerina's on the prowl because she don't have a love interest, so she's trying to find a prowl. So she's respectfully chatting with him. Nothing. I mean, nobody there is married. Period. So, and it's a dating show, so she's within her right to chat with him. Immediately, Janelle comes forward, and she reminds me of a scene reminiscent of, what's that lady? Couple seasons ago. I cannot remember, her name begins with a K. Reminiscent of that, where she felt that she had dibs on him. No, I think that at a certain point, let him draw boundaries for himself. You're not his mother. You don't have to teach him how to draw boundaries, because if he can't show you that he knows how to draw boundaries now, then in that situation, when you guys end up being together, he's not going to be able to draw boundaries later. So you're going to be in a relationship with a gentleman who doesn't know how to draw boundaries. Then what? So if she feels a need to draw boundaries for him, that's going to be a fight. She's going to be fighting for the whole length of the relationship. What she should be doing, or what she should have done, is let it play out. That's not your man yet. At least not that I know of, or not that we know of. It's still a show. And still collect data. How does this man behave? How does he carry himself? But here she is, like, you know, sparring with Katerina over nothing. I feel like this would have been a good situation where Quentin could have shown her how serious he was. She didn't even give him an opportunity to. She was all up in Katerina's face. I don't like it when that happens. Katerina quickly moved herself from this equation. Yo, blink twice if you need help. I thought that was hilarious. There's a scene where Lee and Chris are talking. I thought it was kind of cute. They have a little bit of chemistry. It's kind of late to figure out they have a little bit of chemistry, but let's see if that where and if that goes anywhere. There's a scene, they're all at a table. Maria was maybe about to sit next to Jessica, but then Sierra, being the outgoing person she is, invites him to sit with her already, just because, you know, showing beady eyes, but Jessica don't say much. Partly because maybe she's trying to play ladylike, and also maybe because she don't really like him like that. He just, like, now all of a sudden she left with her back up. He left in a precarious situation. But I like what Sierra says here. Even though Sierra is playful, they say she's the homie, she has kept to who she says she is. Maybe because she don't find anyone she likes, but she's telling Maria, like, look, pursue me. This is not what I'm used to. I'm not meant to be trying to keep throwing out feelers. If I gave you my number, use it and express an interest before I respond. And that's what I'm seeing is common today, where these young cats, and I'm talking about 30 and up too, are expecting women to pursue them or do things for me, make my life better. No. You don't come into a guy's life as a prospect and make his life better. The same way you guys don't want to meet a woman and start buying her bags and buying trips is the same way you don't expect a woman that you shouldn't be expecting one to come into your life and be cooking and doing this and giving you money. No, even in a relationship, before you start doing that, nonsense about money, investing in him, I think you shouldn't do any of that until you're married. And even in that married self, he has shown you his character. Then go ahead. Whatever you do is your business. But I don't think it would behoove us as women to meet a man, not even in dating phase or in dating phase, and be mixing up financial responsibilities, or what the kids say, giving a boyfriend husband privileges when he's just your boyfriend. No, that's not how it works. You don't start doing, because can you be a diehard for your guy? Yes, you can. Should you? Yes, you should. But there's a time and a place for it. You don't do it for a butter stranger. You don't do it for some guy that's been dating you for 10 years. That's not who you're going to give husband privileges to, because he's not your husband. That's why, just to button on something, in the headlines today, what's her name, Kiki Darius. Now, does Darius have any right to feel like it? Yeah, he does. If he's an old school thinking cat, even though he's a young cat, and he feel like, I want my woman looking like that, although it's not quite the case, because he did show some other videos of her, showing her features. But let's play devil's advocate. If he's thinking, he thinks old school, this is what I feel, that's how I want to look, particularly if I'm not there, then what he could have done was, yo, babe, you look beautiful, but I'm feeling some kind of way about it. Let's say he didn't even muster up the courage to tell her before she left the house. Muster up the courage when she got back home. But he just went straight to the net. That's where he went wrong. And I feel like the reason why he did that was because he knew, or he felt like he didn't have a leg to stand on. Because if he's a real old school thinking cat, he hadn't done things the right way. He had impregnated a woman he's not engaged to and he's not married to. What kind of dibs does he have on her? What kind of rights, or what conversations have they had? He didn't feel comfortable saying, this is how I feel, because he had not, in the old school, we made an honest woman of her. He hadn't married her, he wasn't engaged to her, and so didn't feel he had the right to say anything to her face. But he definitely didn't have the right to put it on the net. So I'm not here to support him, but I'm here to say, okay, looking at it from that end, like, guy, you were wrong all the way in. Because now you're talking about your relationship like you were married, so you didn't ask her to marry you. At least we're not aware of it. I don't see a ring on her finger. We weren't aware of any marriage that has transpired. So you can't be a boyfriend and be expecting husband privileges. Once again, it becomes a men versus women kind of nonsense. I just think it's come to a point where, because I feel, and this is just an opinion, I feel like because a lot of men today who grew up in single parent households did not see or do not know the true definition of what a man is, should be, and act. They're only replicating what they saw, and the person they were watching the most was their mom. So now they're coming out, with feminine attributes and not even aware that they're being feminine. Like the expectations and their desires. This is not a diss, this is an observation. So I would say we all need to come back. Yo, those of us talking, complaining, because we keep talking about who's raising these boys. Yo, we're raising boys. Whoever you copulated with, yo, if that's not a good male figure, please find a good male figure for all the gentlemen out here right now, because they're wilding out. We have men running on 10 and they're empty. I'm not to say we run the same thing. We run the same thing for women, but it's less obvious because most of the single parent households are being run by women. It may not be, most desirable feature, but it's not, they may be, copying, but at least they're emulating a woman. Whereas a lot of these men who grew up in single parent households are emulating women as men. And so all this thing about, you go to go out to a bar or a lounge or this, where nowadays most men, I don't mean like 30s, it's men, some of them in their 50s, can't walk up to a woman and say, hi, how you doing? What's up? They're leaving it for a woman to do because they don't know she likes me. So what? Walk up to her, what's up? She don't like you, walk away. Next. That's some of the features one would find desirable in a man who lives more in his masculine. Not that he doesn't have a feminine side, yes he does. But would require, at least for me, if I speak for myself, a man who has masculine energy and definitely sits in it more. Walk up to me. A lot of men now cannot walk up to a woman. They can only talk to a woman through an app. Yo. Or they only end up talking to a woman if a woman talks to them. Things need to change. We need to start changing. Sarah's main point was, Sarah was saying that she doesn't feel it's her place to teach a man what she deserves, how she should be treated. Like, if you're talking about, like, right at the beginning, if I'm teaching you now, I'm going to teach you from beginning to end, and that can be bothersome and tiresome. Now, of course, as he's not going to know everything, but at least they know the basics. Then we can start working and doing things. But if you have to teach him how to pursue you, then you're going to teach him from level 1 to level 10. By level 4, you're going to run out of gas. So all the old dogs out there, men, the men, not the ones that have been in a pen for 40 years and don't know what, and maybe some of them do know what it means to be a man. But sure, if you know what it means to be a man, step out. You see those young cats, school them, or else it's not going to get any better. So anyway, they have dinner, and then what do I see? This is what struck me. Jessica making a plate for Maury. She can't stand Maury. Now I'm exaggerating a little bit, but wasn't this the one that didn't like gender roles? Like, talk about she a boss lady, now she making him a plate. Because your beef with Chris was similar to what you're doing right now, because he said he wanted the softer side of Sears with you. That would be considered the softer side. Fix him a plate, see how he's doing. You both came in the same way, but you're now catering. You're pandering and catering to Maury because you're worried about elimination. As women, sometimes we have to think a little bit clearer. Wouldn't it have been better to do that for somebody you like a little bit more? But I don't know. That didn't make sense to me at all. You're better off not making play for nobody. In fact, you're better off just to let yourself go home. Let's see how this goes. And then they start playing, they always have, one part of the season where they're playing games, truth or dare, but they start having conversation, and Maury lets it out that he has not fallen in love before. Okay, I'm not mad at you. But then, if you've not fallen in love, like, I don't know if Ready to Love is a place for you to figure it out. But Sarah says she understands now why he was asking for coaching, and she's more open to it. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's a show. Because Sarah's thinking is like, how can she expect love from him when he doesn't know what it is? So you want him to use you as practice. Chris now goes on to put his foot in his mouth. He says something about, I don't know if his exact words, he didn't believe in gender equality, women are emotional, so they can't be leaders. Sir. Yo. And now you have now confirmed that whatever anybody is saying about you, then you now made it true. Because no, I understand, and I stand by it. Men and women are different, but that don't mean a woman can't be a powerful leader, because men are just as emotional, because masculine and feminine exist in both of us. And women have been shown time and time again to have extraordinary powers of multitasking. So, and I don't say that because I'm a woman, I say it because facts. I'm a woman too, but it's facts. So that's not so accurate. A woman can support you and be behind you, not because she's weaker, not because she knows less, but because she's supporting you. And that has been how it's been from time. Nowadays, women have stepped forward to say, you know what, I can do it too, and she can do it wonderfully. But I think when a woman submits to her partner, a man who is masculine, that requires more strength and more power than a woman who doesn't. Because she knows she can do it, but she's right behind him, allowing him to do it, as opposed to wanting to take over the reins. You know how they say it's easier to do something yourself than to have somebody do it? So if you're submitting and you're just standing behind, like, go ahead. Playing the subordinate role in some situations requires more power than standing out in front. So Chris, yeah, you goofed on that one, sir. And then he went ahead and did double goof. They went with the stereotype and said, if Jessica don't change, she's going to be a cat lady. So that's not your place to say. Like, you were wrong and you're going to get your ass ate for that. I can't defend that. I can't defend your position. Women are emotional and she's going to be a cat lady because she's living as a boss lady. No, everybody has opportunity for growth. You might grow from this, seeing yourself say that and realize that, you know what, my mother was a strong woman. She's not just an emotional woman. She can be a great leader. And she might grow from realizing that maybe in a relationship she can be soft. It's not always about being the boss lady in the coffee company. So you both can grow. So just to put it out there that she's going to be a cat woman is a little condescending. You goofed. That's all I have to say on that. Yeah, bro, you goofed. I don't know what you're thinking. So then it goes on to something. I guess, the women were responding to what Chris said. Janelle is saying, she's here to support her man. She's giving us the traditional Christian role. Kat is saying, yeah, they're kind of saying the same thing but on different ends. Janelle's coming from the Christian end. Kat is saying something, but if I listen, I don't remember the argument, but I remember thinking like y'all trying to say the same thing a different way. So I don't know where all the came from. Like maybe Janelle being clocking her like, yo, you've been near Quentin, and then it just went left. Katerina gets up, but what I liked before Katerina got up was Maury asking Katerina to calm down. Like, I like that. I was like, okay, all right, okay, Maury, points. Like, he was acting to me as a man, like, I don't want to see these lovely ladies, showing themselves in an unsavory light. Meanwhile, Quentin was mute, like he lost his tongue. Like, sir, you can't talk to your lady? And I don't mean talk to your lady like control her, but yeah, babe, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. I even confessed later on that he was embarrassed by it. Yeah, because she'd been doing a little too much. She rah-rah-rahing when the cameras are rolling. Although they do say that the cameras, you get used to it after a while. What's she doing when cameras aren't rolling? Because she's been in a couple and so that makes me feel that not necessarily that people are trying her. Like, who's the common denominator? So who is the common denominator on all these little frictions and little fiascos? She has been. So now I'm looking at her sideways like, is this what she's used to doing? I think even after at the end of the argument, Chanel's talking about, yeah, they always come for her, these bum, ba, ba, blah, 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 like almost speaking in tongues, but not in a savory manner. And that shows me she had no accountability for her place in the argument, calling them ugly bees, and something's not clean in the milk. Like, because she's calling them all ugly bees. I don't know what she thinks on Love and Hip Hop. The personality she's tried to sell to us and how she's behaving, that's when you talk about, dating someone for a period of time to gather data. Like, who she says she is and who she's acting like are not correlating, but we need to see. But in this moment, I really respect how Maury has played himself and calmed Katerina down, and he has shown that. I think in the first episode when he was calming down Tequila. I mean, there's a part where of course Maury gets to sit down and talk with Sierra. She says she understands his position. I'm still not with it though, but I think he's not really he never was engaged. Sierra was also a backup for him because he said he wanted, this is a day late, $8 short. That time he's not interested, because if you into someone into you, whether it's the day or day not, nobody was married here, so you could pursue that. So if he's already expressing that in the confessional, he wasn't that engaged to begin with. I'm just saying. And then there's a scene, bedroom, Aries and Phil sitting down, and all of that as he's giving her a foot massage. I'm like, yo, where's Chris? Chris, I thought Aries was your girl. And finally, Chris and Katerina have like a breakfast meeting, which I thought was kind of cute. They finally see that they have similar values. I don't know if they have enough time to make that work, but we're going to see. But yeah, that's true. I don't know what happened this season. It's like everybody just didn't fall in the parts didn't fall in the right place. But let's see. I don't know if they have enough time to make anything work. Then next they have like a workout session that Lee is overseeing, and finally you can see Lee shine. Like, she's always taken the back seat, always been less talkative, but this is her arena. That's something I've been saying. I keep seeing this theme in the last couple of days where I say when a man is walking in his purpose, he's unstoppable. She lights up, she lit up, and she took control of the room, and she's doing like, I guess she does some kind of step, jazzy Zumba class or something, and she's shining, and Janelle is shrinking. Janelle's not participating. What was wrong with Janelle? Just what? Janelle says she don't like. Janelle trying to tell me like she doesn't try and do any kind of physical activity. Her attitude, her energy was off. Why is your attitude and energy off? Because another woman's shining. That's another red flag for me. Like, you can't see another sister shine. Like, you just have to be the one shining all the time. I may be reading too much into it. Y'all tell me, but her energy was off. Like, she stood for a little bit, she's looking around, and that could be editing too. Then she sits down, but editing could not be sitting down. She sat down through most of the workout. Sierra did too, but and then all of a sudden the other people into it. Like, it was just like a fun, nice break. You can see Quentin's into it. Now he's paying attention. I'm like, man, my G, I want to give you the middle finger, but I don't need to be flagged. I don't need my picture, but I want to give you the middle finger for both hands. Also, now you see her light. That's what happens sometimes. And the question now is, if they don't see you properly the first time, if someone doesn't notice your light the first time, does he deserve another opportunity to appreciate your light? Like, he dogged you out the first time, because I feel like he dogged her out. Didn't he give her like the cold shoulder, or give her like, say he ghosted her over some misunderstanding? I don't know if they ever straightened it out, but now you see her shining. Now you want to be affiliated with her. Now you're having a second look and feeling it some way. I don't know if that was just a momentary conversation he had in his confessional, but he mentioned how, he liked seeing her, shine. Of course, everybody likes to see everybody shine. But the problem, or the issue here, or the concern here, or the point here is, you don't want people who want to be with you when you're shining. You want people to be with you when you're just sitting down quiet, reading a book, and they can still see your light. You want people to, the person, in my humble opinion, the person for you is the person who can see your light, even when you can't see it. I'll repeat myself. The person for you is the person who can see your light even when you can't see it. There are going to be moments when you're going to be down. Going to be moments when you're going to doubt yourself. That's human nature. And that person's right there saying, yo, babe, you got this. I know you got this. This is who you are. And if that person can do that for you, that's your person. But he just see her, all of a sudden, he see her like, now he's involved. Now he's seeing it. So he's one of the masses. He's one of the fans. He's not one of your personal people. Because one of your personal people, they back you, even when it's not visible. When you have a manager sees you, what sometimes you don't see in yourself. A partner should see in you sometimes when you can't see it yourself. They're there to fill you with positivity and energy to propel you forward. We're meant to do that for each other. Not that you just see me shining and be like, oh yeah, she look good. No, that's where the true knowing, true conversation, understanding the kind of person you're dealing with. And that's why I would say, Lee, forget, bruh. Don't give Quentin the second look, because sometimes, there's a question, should I, shouldn't I? But if you couldn't see it then, this world is like this. So when she's another valley, then he gonna lose interest? I don't know. So it's only now that she signed him. Remember, she's a queen. And now Janelle is shaking. Maybe they are the perfect pair. They match each other. So they have Gentleman's Lounge because they're about to do another voting session. And Q's talking about his feelings for Janelle. But my question now is, because now he's having that second mind when he's talking about Lee. Like, is his dedication fading because there's no longer any competition? Herbert gone. Is his dedication fading because all of a sudden now he sees Lee shining? And now Chris is now interested in Lee. Is that another reason why his interest is activated? These are questions that people would like to get answers to. Because maybe Quentin is in it for the chase. And there's some people like that. Didn't his last girlfriend say that he wasn't ready to settle down? Janelle was the top dog. Everybody wanted Janelle. So he wanted to win. Meanwhile, Lee was sitting down quiet. Now Herbert gone and everybody's kind of splintered off into who their interests are. And so it looks like nobody trying to mess with Quentin with Janelle, so he the only one expressing interest. Now it's tempered. And now he remember Lee because all of a sudden Chris talk about Lee. Now I could be pulling this out from my, or I may not be. These are questions to ask someone short, because, and you know what, I think women will say this too sometimes, like a lot of things happen at the same time. You might get people who are, multiple people who are interested in you at the same time. That's when you need to sit down and meditate and be clear which way to go, because you miss it. Sometimes when you miss a turning, take a good 10 miles. Okay, let me exaggerate. Take a good 5 miles to redirect and get in the right direction. Hence, you pick the wrong person, could take a good 5 to 10 years to redirect. And that's human years, not minutes. So it would behoove you to sit down and be clear before you get in the car and start driving and pick a road partner. So I guess Maria gets talking about Sierra, and then I guess he talked about Jessica, and then something that Uncle Nephew Tommy said, which I've said before, is it Like if it requires that much thinking, like maybe the connection isn't there. It's not maybe, the connection's not there. We're already just talking. We're just making TV at this point. Connection's not there. Because there's simplicity sometimes to some things. Y'all don't know each other from Adam. Y'all just meeting. You don't have a kid together. Do I like her? Do I not? Do I like this one? It's very simple. So yeah, that's the effort. If connection's not there, connection's not there. People just want to waste time. And it looks like I'm only like how Murray now determining everybody's fate, well, determining fate this week. But another thing that made me think, like, is this guy Imumu? How he let both his interests get on the chopping block? He didn't fight for them. He slow. Like I don't know. Like we said, maybe the producers pick people on chopping block. But how are both of the people you're interested in on the chopping block? And you opened your eyes and let that happen. I'm looking at you cross-eyed like, sir, you can't be that bright. You can't be that street smart, unless you can't be. They can't be that street smart. It's unless there's a curveball coming, because how the two people, your two top interests, supposedly on the chopping block, and all the other boys know that, they don't respect you. They're going on for you because they put them on the chopping block and you let it happen. And then you, on top of that, you're not the one announcing that hey, step forward, and you're not ashamed. Now, if and when one of those, you're next when it's time to vote off, guys, because you're not. If you can't, and maybe they edited it, I don't know, but they didn't show us any clips of you going hard for them or either one, because it's kind of odd, like how both of them ended up with chopping block. Katerina don't have anybody confirmed, does she? I don't know, you tell me. So why isn't Katerina a runner-up on that? Like it just seemed too convenient. Like I say that they're trying to get rid of Maria next. So we look at the two finalists head to head. Must I say that Sierra looking nice? She dressed up like she can ready to go with a bang. I'm not mad at her. She ended up getting eliminated. I think with this show, and I've said this in the past, is like it's not so much about being eliminated, but what you portrayed yourself and what's been shown on the screen. Because one way to portray yourself, another way for them to piece clips together to create a different narrative. But I think both what she's shown and what's been edited of her has represented her well. She's represented herself well. Sarah, you have done well. So whatever happens, sis, you did good. You didn't compromise. You didn't look stupid. You look fun. Like some of these guys are saying that playful energy might be too much. Now, for the right person, it's going to be just right. It's going to be appreciated, because you're not just playful. You're thinking. You act like you got your thinking cap on. So you're not just playful with empty. No, you got this, and you're playful, and the outer packaging is nice. So Sarah, this is a win-win for you. Whether you stay or whether you go, you're already a winner. Because I think you portray yourself in a suitable light. Then as they are, as Maria is talking about the different qualities, they're calling Sarah playful, she's one of the homies, then they call Jessica and say that she's combative. Honestly, and I haven't seen all the clips, only the clips shown on own network, but the only person who could maybe have had an combative experience with her seems to be Chris. But how is that a narrative that's not stuck with her? I'm not defending it, I'm not questioning it, but I'm asking. Like, how is it now part of her narrative that they say she's combative? Because if her ass were combative all the time, she would have scuffled with Katerina over her calling Mario to the side, but she didn't. Jessica didn't. She just kept quiet. She was squeezing her eyes and squeezing her face, kind of funny, but she didn't. And that's the thing. That's what happens with us sometimes. Something happen and then they want to label us with something. I don't know, and it's going to be further conversation next week. But how is she labeled with combative? Is she? She probably could be, but I don't, as a viewer, have any evidence to say that is. Just because something happened one time doesn't mean that's fact. It happened. Everybody here in the planet's crazy. All of y'all are crazy. Y'all done something crazy once. Don't mean that's who you are. And now that's a name that should follow your name, or a name that should be before your name. Combative this person, combative Jessica. I don't necessarily agree with that because I need to see more. But anyway, sure. It looked like Chris wilding out next week. So if Chris wilding out too much, Chris might just save Maria, and Maria may not, because Maria is the one that should be going next week. Like Chris do too much, he might be saving Chris another week. So if Chris wilding out too much, he might be saving Maria for another 2 weeks. So let's see, guys. But yeah, it's been rough. Thanks for watching. Lola, over and out.